Alright, so we have my second project for Intro to Game Programming. It is the Asteroids Copycat. And to start us off, we have our spaceship with a nice background that I got from a website that I have linked in the project sheet. Mind blank there, sorry. And for movement, we have the tank controls, which are used as in forward. Forward is the up key, backwards is the back key. And then to turn, to move left and right, we have to rotate at any given speed. Alright, and next we have the game manager. And for our collisions, we are using the on trigger enter events. With our bullets, whenever they come in contact, it decreases the hit points of every single item that has a hit point allowed to it. And then if those hit points are gone, they will be called the die function, and they will be destroyed. And for the asteroids, I had to program the movement different from the enemy ship because it was honestly the ship's meant to be following the player, while the asteroids are just supposed to find location and just fly. So we have that displayed. Oh, that's a bad one. And the objects spawn in random spots in the map by the spawner that I have made. It will sometimes randomly spawn an enemy ship, as seen earlier. And I did add a little feature to the opposing ship, which can fire rounds at us, because I balanced it out with the slow movement and slower rotating speed, and I also put a delay in between the shots. And for our player to fight back, I used the hold down key. That way you can't just spam the fire by holding it down, because that would create a lot of game objects, which could cause lag. And to prevent lag from continuous firing anyway, the bullets have a timer set for after they launch to disappear. And also, if you run into the sides of the walls, for the player, I made it that way you can't move outside the player bounds, but if anything else tries to go outside the space, as this asteroid will, it gets destroyed. And our bullets collide with the ships and the asteroids, causing them to be destroyed. And then the spawner uses a random sphere, which has a radius of right now of 7.5 units, I think. And it chooses randomly based on this, which object to spawn. And all the objects are brought in using the instigate function, or not function, command. Like for the player bullet, whenever a spacebar is pressed, when spacebar is pressed, it gets its rotation and it launches with the instigate function. And now all the speeds and stuff can be changed per object. Like on the player ship, you can change the max speed and the rotation speed and the lives. For the asteroid, you can change the speed of it, how fast it moves. And for the opposing ship, you can change the speed as well, and the rotation speed. And since I decided to use a firing mechanism, I added a bullet delay, which can also be changed. And the bullets have a timer, which for the how long it will disappear after the shot, which can be changed depending on how big you make the expanding area, like the map area, like the main camera size. Change it to, like, let's say 20. The bullet might not last as long, depending on the speed. But we'll just change that back. You can also, and also the speed change. I use the same bullet, I just changed the color for the ship and all that on the sprites. That way, didn't have to use that many sprites. And when we get our program or product, it matches full screen. The play area is matched to the aspect ratio of the screen. And you have a live counter at the top left. And whenever we die, we close out the application. Also, one thing to know: whenever you have all the objects, hang on, put that back down to 10. Whenever you're playing, whenever you get hit, all objects in the surrounding area will be eliminated. That's not a good example. Let me just increase the spawn timer real quick. Yeah, let's put that public. Let's change that to 1 for now. As you can see, everything despawns. Everything disappears after the first contact. And I believe that is it. The application closed out whenever we died. The tank movement is used for the player. If it moves back to its starting position once it gets hit, and everything else disappears. Spacebar used to fire. Everything spawns at a random spot except for the bullets, which come out the ships. Only 3 enemy objects can be on the map at once. There's a counter to keep that in play. And out of bounds destroys objects except for the player, which I decided to make them not move out. That way it's less forgiving if you're playing on a smaller space, like if I was to move that to 5. And everything that includes speed and rotation can be changed by anyone that's designing the game inside, coming to make changes. And I believe that is it. I've left plenty of comments for anyone that wants to try and edit this or even copy it for whatever reasons.